6-point basketball game. Chicago staying in it. Natasha Cloud. And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena. After Natasha Cloud got that bucket, she wanted her voice heard. We have talked about the conversations surrounding the W. That is Enes Kanter in the building today. And he has voiced how he's felt about the situation. Natasha Cloud voicing her opinion as well. Kanter was just escorted out. 6 points.
Enes Kanter, just a man who sat courtside at a WNBA game wearing a shirt that had 6 words on it. Woman. Now. Adult human female. That's it. You know, that was enough to get him yelled at and walked out of the arena, and also called a cloud chaser. Yeah. Then he answered everybody at once. He decided to. I want y'all to, just peep this. This was obviously the ejection. It wasn't, speech yet. Just a moment. A player points, security moves, and a grown man gets removed for sitting still in that shirt. If the definition of a woman is enough to clear the seats, man, I'll just say I don't think the problem was ever the fabric. It was never the fabric. Now, same night, y'all, but we just got a different camera angle here. We're just going to watch it a little closer. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know which side they booing for. I'm being honest. I don't know which side they booing for. I think I know. I ain't gonna lie. I think I know. But security is already in position. My boy, he can't even. He literally just looking up to him. But in a position like something criminal here is somehow taking place. I don't see no criminal actions here. I don't see nothing nefarious. The only thing taking place is a sentence that used to be taught in schools. Makes me, man, you got to start asking your kids these questions. Now, when basic categories start needing security escorts, the coach has already chosen which truth is, it is willing to protect. Now, I want y'all to hear the man that they removed explain exactly what was said.
With one of the players. The player was Natasha Cloud right there. Walking up and yelling at him. You can see his T-shirt. It says, woman, noun, adult, human, female. He's standing up for women's sports.
So Natasha Cloud was happy that she hit a three-pointer. So she screamed at Enes Kanter. He got up. He's 6'10", and let him know, what's your problem? I'm allowed to sit here and wear a T-shirt and root for Sophie Cunningham. What's the problem with that? And next thing you know, they throw him out of the game.
So he's on the right side of the issue, because men should not be playing in women's sports. It just should not happen.
But he will be. He'll be drafted in the spring.
But I also don't agree with him stepping up to her like that. A man shouldn't do that. It just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't.
He just stood up.
No, but he walks toward her. You shouldn't do that as a man. He's too big for that. I understand and I stand with him on highlighting this issue. But I hope women see now that are on this court that there is a biological difference. But this is what happens.
But Cloud began yelling at Kanter,
which is wrong,
who stood up and walked towards the court. An official and security personnel immediately jumped in.
And that shouldn't happen.
And they tell him to leave. Here's what he said afterwards.
Sophie Cunningham shot a 3, and I put my hands up to celebrate, right? Literally a couple positions later, Natasha came back and started screaming and yelling and said, she's not going to sleep with you. And I was like, I am not trying to sleep with her. I'm just here to protect women and support her. And then obviously after that, she started yapping and she started to walk towards me. And literally I just got up and then I was like, I'm just here to protect women, and that's all.
So Enes played 11 seasons, and now he wants to play for the WNBA because he says, well, look, I could say that I identify as a woman. I want to play. Put me in. So he went to this game to support Sophie Cunningham. And, you know, when all these stories pop up, the message gets muddled, right, guys? I mean, the message that Sophie wants to tell everyone is, I love everybody. This is not about trans athletes.
So he celebrated a made three-pointer. Like, what's the problem with that? You know what I'm saying? She came with the, she's not sleeping with you. Where did that come from? You know, he answered he was there to protect women. The language got heavy in front of kids, by the way. Security did not walk the person using the heavy language. I want you to note that as well. You know, they walked the men who refused to act confused about a category. Just saying that choice tells you everything about what is actually being defended. Now, we got some former athletes here who watch the same footage and decide Enes was the problem.
What other reason would he be going to the games? Hell, he probably ain't never been to no WNBA game. Just to cause ruckus. The man said he gonna go try out for the WNBA, bro.
He raging, baby. Then he gonna run the Fox. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and yada 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 yada. He was a solid role player, but then he started having these beliefs and these talking points that the league's like, bro, you not that good. Get his angle, but hey, like I said, as his last name says, freedom. He believes in freedom and all this other stuff, and that's okay.
He tripping.
Y'all hear how he denounced? Did y'all hear how he denounced the literal fabric of America? He's talking about freedom and bro, what? Shannon just said, Kanter just wants his 15 minutes of fame. Joe, agreed and said he only came to cause ruckus. Interesting timing, right? A man who played 11 years and averaged a double-double states a biological fact, and suddenly he's the performer. Same voices stay quiet when the league leaves the word woman undefined in its own rules. Then they don't change the dictionary, man. That's not how this works. Not at all. Now, here's the part most people still have not connected yet.
Chicago staying in it. Natasha Cloud.
So that's Enes Kanter. He's a former NBA player, and he was just ejected from this WNBA game for getting into this argument or incident with this player, Natasha Cloud, as he was sitting courtside wearing a shirt with the word woman with the definition of the word woman attached to it, which is an adult human female. They kicked him out of the game. Here you can see him being escorted out. Again, notice his shirt, and very obviously the crowd is happy that they have decided to kick him out. Now this follows a pretty good period of time where Enes Kanter has been trolling the WNBA. He and a couple of other men, even former NBA athletes, men who were once playing professional basketball, have declared that they're going to be declaring for the WNBA draft because the WNBA apparently just can't seem to define what a woman is and can't decide whether men should be competing against women. He actually posted this photo to his Twitter at halftime of the game, where you see he's outside of the women's restroom. Again, he has that shirt on that says woman, noun, adult, human, female. And he captioned the post, "It's halftime and I need to use the restroom," with the emoji showing the female restroom icon, saying rules are rules at the WNBA. He also uploaded this video a couple of hours ago as he was entering the game of him being essentially verbally harassed by a bunch of fans who weren't happy that he was there.
Bitch ass nigga. Bitch ass out of Chicago. I'm not touching him. I'm just saying, fuck you.
By the way, that grown man saying that with his 5-year-old kid right beside him.
Sorry ass. You were sorry in the league. You were sorry in the league. You wouldn't even do good in this league. Sorry ass.
Saying you wouldn't even do good in this league. He's a 7-foot tall man. He would score 100 points a game if he played in the WNBA. It's just ridiculous.
Sorry. Now you ain't good. You ain't good here.
So look, Enes Kanter very obviously showed up to that game to draw attention to himself, and he very obviously wore that shirt for a reason. Again, he's been one of these men, specifically former NBA players, who have said, okay, the WNBA can't figure out what is and isn't a woman. Well, I'm just going to declare for the WNBA draft. Why are they going to tell me no? Because I now identify as a woman. Very obviously they're joking. And whether you think it's childish or not, I think they're drawing attention to a pretty important issue, which is that the WNBA, an organization for women's basketball, its leaders and its players simply can't decide whether the organization should remain only for women. Now, as for his ejection, them removing him from this game, I do find it to be a little bit stupid. I mean, I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong. He apparently had been chirping back and forth with Natasha Cloud, who was the player who eventually just like lost her cool. This whole new thing with security escorting and kicking out fans who are heckling and, you know, talking trash to players is really not exclusive to the WNBA. It's happening across a variety of professional sports. I think it's sad, it's pitiful, but it is what it is, and very obviously this is going to get a lot of attention on the internet. So what do you think?
So he declared for the 2027 WNBA draft on purpose. You know, the collective bargaining agreement uses the word woman and never defines it. No clear line on biological males. So he offered the simplest test possible here. Put a 11-year NBA body in that league and watch what happens to the fairness conversation. People who call this hate are the same ones who cannot explain why the rule book is written that way. Just saying, when your ideology needs to lead to stay blurry, clarity, man, is obviously your enemy. It's your kryptonite. And he did not leave the point unfinished.
So I played basketball in NBA for 11 years. I mean, I averaged a double-double, and it was an amazing time. You know, I had so much fun with my teammates. So I love the game, and I am ready to play. I'm prepared to play.
You know what? My fault, y'all. You know, I don't know why I played that twice. You know, anywho, I just thought it was another clip. I hardly double. Anywho, I make these mistakes. No editing. I'll just say if identity is the only requirement, man, the most unfair advantage the league has ever seen is an actual NBA veteran who is willing to walk through the door they are seemingly leaving open. The same mindset that demands you ignore, you know, biology has no answer when that biology shows up ready to play. You know, a shirt with a definition got a man removed from a basketball arena. Former players called him hungry for attention. He answered by offering to enter the draft and force the rule into the light. I think that's a pretty good thing. That's exactly what they wanted. They didn't want attention to this issue. You know, the deeper issue is not one night in Chicago to me either. It is what happens when a culture decides that noticing reality is more offensive than the reality itself. That's crazy. Women lose the fairness of their own league. Kids lose the ability to trust what, you know, their eyes are telling them in the system, any system rather, that needs language to stay vague will always punish the person who refuses to play along. Now, you don't need a political team to be able to point out that contradiction. You only need to notice who gets protected and who gets walked out. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment the word category if this may have made sense to you. Yeah. And I want to leave you with Ephesians 4:25. Therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor. For we are members of one another. Please be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.